the intellectual, moral, and spiritual challenges are actually all based on this same pernicious philosophy, secularism. One of it is that there is no purpose. We are taught that man imprints his own purpose on life. There is no purpose to life because everything happened, originated by chance, by accident. Let us look at man in Allah's guidance. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created man as the potential khalifa, vicegerent. Allah says in Surah Al-Baqarah, Surah number 2, ayah number 30, وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً. And remember when your Rabb said to the angels, verily I am placing on earth a khalifa, a vicegerent. This is the potential status of man, the vicegerent of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that He has endowed this vicegerent, this potential vicegerent. Our striving in life has to be to strive to actualize that potential status. He has endowed the potential vicegerent with a fitrah in nature. In Surah Al-Rum, Surah number 30, ayah number 30, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فِطْرَةَ اللَّهِ الَّتِي فَطَرَ النَّاسَ عَلَيْهَا لَا تَبْدِيلَ لِخَلْقِ اللَّهِ ذَلِكَ الدِّينُ الْقَيِّمُ وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. The fitrah, the nature from Allah which He endowed human beings with, there is no change to the creation of Allah. That is the upright way of life, but most human beings do not know. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created man as His potential vicegerent and endowed him with a nature. And He, the all-knowing, the all-wise, sent guidance that is in harmony with the nature which He endowed human beings with. And so whenever a human being follows Allah's guidance, that human being is in harmony with his own fitrah. When a human being acts contrary to Allah's guidance, that human being is in conflict with his own nature. The human personality, we see very clearly from the Quran and Sunnah, has different dimensions. Maulana Ansari rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi, in his Quranic Foundations and Structure of Muslim Society, says, and this is in volume 2, about the dimensions. Thus, the spiritual, the physical, the rational, the moral, and the aesthetical constitute the 5 dimensions of human personality. An activity relating to all these 5 should be pursued in a balanced and integrated manner. Activity relating to all 5 dimensions, the spiritual, the physical, the rational or intellectual, the moral, and the aesthetical, should be pursued in a balanced and integrated manner in order that the human personality may evolve and function in a healthy form on the basis of healthy activity. Then comes secularism. Secularism dethrones man from the elevated status that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him. Potential vicegerent. 5 dimensions to the human personality. Dethrones man from that elevated status and makes him a mere animal among animals, evolved by accident, by a series of accidents, out of godless, causeless, non-rational, inert matter. And therefore, there is no spiritual dimension to man. So, man has been de-spiritualized, dethroned, de-spiritualized. And obviously there is no moral dimension to the human personality, because moral values are what human beings decide them to be. There are no objective moral values, because everything happened by accident and by chance. And values are subjective. And so today, we can decide, we human beings can decide, that what was considered wrong up to yesterday is now right. As a matter of fact, what secularism has striven to do is to remove the concepts of right and wrong from the thinking of human beings. And so now we have choices, alternatives, but no right and wrong. So I choose this and you choose that. This is what I choose is right for me, and what you choose is right for you. But there is no objective right and wrong. There is no good and bad. The first director of the World Health Organization, more than 50 years ago, published a book, Can People Learn to Learn? His name was Brock Chisholm, first director. And one author has summed up the views of Brock Chisholm. He is the first director of the World Health Organization. This book was published in 1952. He believed the most persistent barrier to developing a civilized way of life in the world was the concept of right and wrong. Codes of belief, fixed rules, or dogmatism were anathema to him. Children must be freed from the national, religious, and other cultural prejudices forced upon them by parents and by religious authorities. The director, first director of the World Health Organization. And of course, this is the path that secularism has continued along, brainwashing us. There is no longer anything right. We cannot say this is right and this is wrong. I decide what is right for me, and you decide what is right for you. And what I decide is right for me, if everybody else doesn't like it, so be it. Then, because man originated by accident and chance, out of non-rational, inert, causeless matter, this life is the only life. There can be no continuation of life after death. And so, this engenders in human beings a sense of hopelessness and despair. No matter what we do, death is going to annihilate us, and that's the end of everything. So if I choose a life of violence and crime, that's my choice. If I get away with it, I get away. If I don't get away with it, if I'm killed in the process, it doesn't really matter, because death is the extinction of everything. And so I am going to die, if not today, tomorrow, next year. There's that sense of hopelessness. Nothing that we do can survive death. So, secularism, there is no spiritual dimension to the human personality. This life is the only life. There are no objective moral values, and obviously there is no God. Everything happened by chance and by accident, and there is no God to be for persons to be accountable to. So let us go back to understanding this universe. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says He has created everything in accordance with truth. He has not created anything in mere idle play. He has not created anything except with meaning and purpose. But there are characteristics of this universe that we need to pay attention to. In Surah Al-Isra, Surah number 17, ayah number 44, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, تُسَبِّحُ لَهُ السَّمَاوَاتُ السَّبْعُ وَالْأَرْضُ وَمَنْ فِيهِنْ. The seven heavens and the earth and all therein make the tasbih of Allah. وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ إِلَّا يُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِهِ. There is not a single thing except that it makes the tasbih,